I reckon one of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to filling a webinar is that they treat fill webinar as one job when it's really 4. So what I want to do, if it's cool with you, is just walk you through the 4 specific campaigns you're going to need to run to do a webinar campaign that is profitable, successful, and works. Cool? If you break the flow down, there's 4 campaigns we're going to run. The first campaign you run is all about getting people to sign up. That's your first job. The first campaign we run is all about getting people to sign up. That means sending them to your landing page or getting them to give you their email address and say, yes, I'm coming. Our second campaign is about show up. On the webinar, our job is to get pay up. And at the end of the webinar, there's going to be a few different people who are going to slot into different buckets. Yeah, exactly. It's follow-up. And in follow-up, we're gonna have some different categories. We're gonna have no-shows, people who said they were coming and didn't. We're gonna have bailed early, which is people who were on the webinar but didn't see your offer. We're gonna have non-buyers, so people who were on the webinar all the way through, saw your offer and still didn't buy. Idiots. And we're going to have buyers. Would it make sense to follow each of those 4 different groups up differently? If they've been on your webinar and they stayed all the way through the end, they saw your offer, does it make sense to say, hey, come back and watch the webinar all over again? What could we talk about if we wanted to make some sales? Testimonials, like proof that the thing really worked. You could totally do that. You could have an FAQ about the offer. If I was on the webinar, but I left before the offer, what could my campaign look like? Yeah, replay or encore. If they didn't show up, then it's the same deal. It's, hey, I'm sorry you missed it. I totally get it. Life gets in the way sometimes. We're going to do it again tomorrow at X time. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is like, when should I do my webinar and how do I promote it? I'm going to say, if you've got an email list of any size, even if it's like 164 people, this is how to do it. Let me show you the sign up campaign that we use. So imagine this is a monthly calendar and it's got 4 weeks. Okay, so we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. When should your webinar be? What might be the mistake of running your webinar on, say, like a Monday? Long weekend, you don't like Mondays. Nobody likes Mondays, dude. I'm totally feeling you. So you're going to send 4 emails. Email number 1 goes out the Tuesday the week before. Email number 2 goes out Thursday the week before. Email number 3, the Tuesday the week before, and the day before reminder goes out right there. What do we say in the emails? I reckon if you're smart, you'll try to find interesting ways to say the same thing differently. It's just good to have some different angles to promote your stuff with. So I think the first kind of email we're going to send is a promise email. This is where you talk about how awesome things will be if they implement the stuff that you teach. Next, the second email is going to be a problem email, where you talk about all the problems that they've got that the webinar will fix, which is like an away from pain motivated email. Then we're going to have a proof email, which is where you use a testimonial case study example of one of your clients who's absolutely smashed it. What do you do if you haven't got a testimonial case study example of a client who's absolutely smashed it? No, you don't make one up. There's 2 kinds of case studies you can use. Winners, you always do your own clients. Losers, never do your clients. Here was Larry. He was really successful until he met me. That's not going to go that well, right? So always do a loser's case study of someone who you didn't work with. Is that cool? Of a company that went down the toilet or whatever it was. So you got 3 emails. You got a problem, you got a promise, a problem, and a proof. Then finally, we've got a reminder email, which is the day before or the day of, depending on which sequence you're using.